Hey, this is Joel Cameron. Thanks for checking out this video blog. In this particular video, I'm going to be gating the internal mic of a bass drum on a drum kit. This is just a straight up drum set recorded with mics only, no compression, no dynamic control or EQ, filtering, anything. It's just straight mics on a drum kit, and I've balanced the faders a little bit, and this is what the kit sounds like. Now, it sounds good. You can definitely mix that. Before I get to mixing, particularly when it comes down to EQing things, adding attack and doing stuff like that, I really like to get some individual control over the sounds. For instance, since I'm dealing with the bass drum in this video, this is the internal bass drum. You hear that snare drum audibly. It's only about a foot away from the mic inside the drum and just on the other side of the batter head. And you can hear it really clearly. Well, I want to get rid of that, because if I add some attack to that bass drum, I'm also going to be adding some of that high mid frequency to that snare leakage as well, which is going to make the direct snare track a bit more indistinct. It'll kind of fight with it. So I want to sort of create a little isolation here. Cool thing about internal mic on the kick drum is it is about the easiest drum to process with gating. Now this, I'm using standard plugins, the stuff that comes with Pro Tools. There's nothing special about this. I want you to listen with it bypassed. Listen to the attack of the kick. Okay, now listen. It's kind of flubby and you're missing the attack, the front edge. Well, that's because the default setting here is 10 milliseconds. I know there are a lot of guys, a lot of front of house guys. I see it a lot in churches, unfortunately, where people don't use a fast enough attack on the drums. Well, look what happens when I make this attack as fast as it'll go. It opens in time to allow all those transients through. Transients generally are gone by 10 milliseconds. So by the time that thing opens, when it comes to drums or any other transient signal, you're not getting the transient. And drums, that's so critical. So make that attack about as fast as it'll go. Now, you can still hear that the snare drum's loud enough that it's kind of causing the gate to chatter a little. You can hear it. Well, this right here, this little arrow, is actually the same as this knob here, and you'll see that as I move one, the other will move as well. But I'm going to increase this threshold so that the hotter signals will open it, but that the lower level signal of the snare leakage will not. Now that's very, very tight, and it's very isolated, but that's a double-headed bass drum, and I prefer to get a little bit more tone in it. So I'm increasing the length that it holds before closing to allow more time and more sustain through, more tone and resonance. And then I'm going to slow down the release, the speed at which the gate closes, so that it sort of fades off naturally. And that gives me a little bit more tone from the drum. But that's pretty decently isolated right there. That's actually real nice. And again, this is the easiest drum pretty much almost always to treat this way. So we have a good hold of it now, and we can go back and listen to it within the context of the kit. And in the next video, I will deal with the outside kick mic. Thanks for checking this out, and please keep tuning in. Thanks.